What's up, everybody? My name's Trey. This is Denzel. Welcome back to Better Days Sports, your number one spot for just everything to do with sports, because we got you back. And in today's episode, we'll talk about our reactions to the first round of the NBA playoffs, Lakers versus the Timberwolves, with the Timberwolves kind of won this handily 4-1 versus the Lakers. But before we get into the video, if you are new to the channel, new to the pod, make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell to get notified every time we post a video. And leave a comment in the comment section down below what this means for the LeBron James Luka combination that the Lakers have, because we're interested to see what you have to say. But Denzel, how are your thoughts, feelings, whatever you got for us on this matchup?
Well, this is the passing of the guard. And the fact, I said it previously, if Anthony Edwards can get his act together off the court, because that goes with part into being the face of an entire organization, then we have it. You know, the way that Adidas is marketing him has been amazing. The way he's played on the court has been amazing. Now, I know in the closeout game, he didn't have the best game ever. However, still got it done, and he's a threat. Regardless, man, you know, I think the closeout game was the only game, as a matter of fact, that he had that wasn't spectacular, in my opinion.
Right.
Which is fine. It is what it is. You know, I think Kobe won his last ring. He had, a terrible shooting game, but he had a double-double. So that's never been a big thing to me. We know what he can do. Now, LeBron, like I said, passing the players to ever play the game, get old right in front of our eyes. But Father Time catches up to us all. And LeBron has pushed that, down the road as long as he could. But I think this series showed for a fact that, he doesn't have it as much as he used to 5 years ago, 2 years ago even, right? So let's just appreciate Bron. We witnessed greatness. And when he does his retirement tour, because this could be his last year, right? Hey, man, we gonna support it through and through. So I'm appreciative. It just really depends on what Luka wants to do in terms of his game and his weight. We know that that's been a hindrance to him, and it's crazy to think that even with him playing at such a high weight right now, he's still very effective and able to score, put up good numbers. So I think it's really about putting the right pieces around Luka for the future, and also figuring out what you want to have your identity be. Because, again, I've talked about this previously. Identity is huge in sports. And in basketball, every team needs an identity so that everybody is on the same page as to how we operate and play the game. I don't think the Lakers had that. I think the Timberwolves had that for sure. And that's what stopped them, right? So, J.J. Redick, I'm taking him once they started losing that, his coaching style doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. But he's there. I know practices are different now, so I can't speak on everybody's practices. But he's there. He sees the players. He knows what's up. He's a veteran. He doesn't strike me as the type of coach that will have a vendetta against somebody. And I think that he played the guys that he thought could get it done. And you live by that and you lose by that. Or you win by that and lose by that. So that's what he did. He stuck to what he thought was best for the team, and simple as that. You can only do so much as a coach. You can't play for your players, right? But I think going forward, if that's something that he wants to do, stick around after LeBron leaves, I think he'd be a great candidate for it. He's passionate, he's young, and most importantly, I think that he has the acumen to back it up. So being that he was a former player, played at a high level, and then also he has the teaching capability. So when you have that teaching capability to go with that acumen, again, it's just this perfect combination. Shout out to Stacey. Perfect combination. They don't know about that one. That's an old school song. My fault. What you got, Trey?
Yeah, I think this really showed some of the inexperience from JJ. Don't get me wrong, great coach regular season. I think in the playoffs, him not necessarily trusting some of his bench guys or really figuring out during the season who his go-to bench players were really hurt them in the playoffs. And then their overall roster construction, we talked about it as soon as they made the Luka trade. They're going to need more defense. They're very small inside. Sure, they have Jackson Hayes, but he's not your conventional center, I'm going to meet you at the rim type of player. And we said all along, they have to add another, big body center. They were talking about Mark Williams. They were talking about Dwight Howard coming out of retirement and playing. JaVale McGee was in free agency. Like, there was definitely some options that I thought they could have went after to just add length and size to this roster that they decided against. So I think looking back at it, that definitely hurt them a lot, especially in this matchup, because at no way, shape, and form, if I would have told you that Rudy went off for over 20 and 20, that you were like, oh yeah, the Lakers have no shot in this series at all, because what are they doing to allow this man to go absolutely crazy? And I think this matchup specifically showed that your stars are going to do what they've done all season, specifically Anthony Edwards, and that goes for pretty much every other team that won. Your stars are supposed to be the consistency on your team. You're supposed to know what you're getting day in and day out, and it's up to your role players to really up their play to be able to win you games. Jaden McDaniels played great. Rudy, for as much as, we talk about him being overpaid, him not necessarily being, the best defender in the league, he held his own, and it seemed like the Lakers were hunting him on every single play. Now, was he necessarily stopping your best player? No, but at this day and age, there is no lockdown defender anymore in the league. It's just, can you force the opposing player to take tough shots, which he did, play in and play out. And then the real surprise to me was Julius Randle, who has not necessarily had playoff success in his, relatively long career, played really good in these playoffs. He averaged 22, 5, and 4, and seemed like anytime they needed a really tough bucket, he was the player that they actually went to for that. So it definitely did not go as I expected. I did not think LeBron was going to age, it seemed like, this quickly right in front of our eyes, and not even athletically, because we kind of talked in recent videos about, he's not jumping as high, he's not chasing down as many blocks, he's picking and choosing when exactly he's, playing full force. But it was some of the mental lapses that I saw from LeBron that I just did not expect to see even now in his career, where some lazy passes are leading to turnovers and dunks on the other side. It was very small things that I'm like, oh, age is definitely catching up to him. And I was not expecting to see it at all. Now, do you think the Timberwolves have enough to get past either the Rockets or the Warriors, depending on who wins tonight? Like, do you think, as constructed, that they are a finals, caliber team?
The Warriors, excuse me, I'm so ready to chop that up. The Timberwolves can beat any team in the remaining games that they have easily, except for the Thunder.
Okay.
That's the matchup. The Thunder and the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves have the experience, and they have, again, like I said earlier, that perfect combination. The Thunder have the youth, and they have potentially the NBA MVP. So, again, I don't see the Timberwolves having a problem with the Warriors or the Rockets. If they play the Warriors, I guarantee you Draymond Game gets suspended for a few games because him and Ant are going to absolutely go at it.
I don't even think it's Ant. I think him and Randall go at it. I think it's going to be him and Randall.
Look it up. When you get a chance, look it up. Him and Ant, that's the team that he wants. He wants to go through the Warriors to get to the NBA Finals. He says that Draymond talks a lot of cash.
Oh, yeah.
So we already know what that's about. But if they get the Rockets, oh my goodness, they just got an absolute cakewalk to the conference finals, because the Rockets is just. Yeah, I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna save that for the Rockets video, because I can't.
Hey, look, I think everything is aligning for not only a deep playoff run, but a possible finals appearance for the Timberwolves. Mm-hmm. It's really going to put the spotlight on Ant, regardless if he wants it or not. I know he kind of said he does not want to be the face of the league, and I think that comes more to off the court stuff, just everybody in your business. And Ant kind of wants to do whatever he wants when he wants it, and he doesn't have to answer for that regardless if it's good or bad or whatever the case may be. Because my boy beat child support. He beat the Lakers in 5, and he's about to be the face of the league regardless if you like it or not. So you know what, Amp? I love to see it. Keep on balling out, my boy. Appreciate what you're doing. You have anything else you want to add? Any hot takes or anything?
I don't have another hot take, but I do have an X factor. I think the X factor.
Okay.
I don't know who the Timberwolves coach is. Excuse me, but whoever the coach is, what he done the first. Coach Finch. So what Coach Finch done the first round, changing the lineups and playing Mr. Nas Reed more and playing Rudy less until it got to a closeout game. I think that was pretty smart of him. So I like to see what he's going to do the second round, depending on if they play the Warriors or the Rockets. So I think that's the X factor because the players are going to play. They showed you that. The team they got it. It just depends on what the coach game plans for them, and they'll follow it. So that's the X factor for me, Coach Finch.
I think in this next series specifically, it's going to be, and regardless of who the Timberwolves play, it's what does their offense look like when they're playing against a more competent defense. Because if you look at the Warriors, you have Moody, you have Kuminga, you have Butler, you have Draymond. When you look at the Rockets, you have Thompson, Dylan Brooks, even have Fred VanVleet, who seems to just be in everybody's pocket as of late. So I think it's going to be more reliant on players to create their own offense in this next series. And it's going to be interesting to see what exactly that looks like. Are we running high pick and roll? Are we doing a lot of down screens? How are we going to get people open and how are we going to generate points? Not saying that they can't. I just think their offense is going to look a little bit different than they were with the Lakers when it comes to if Luka's guarding you, go by him. He does not move his feet. So I think it's going to be interesting to see, and it's definitely going to be a good matchup regardless of who they actually play. But really appreciate y'all for stopping by for another episode of the pod, another video on the channel. If you are new, like I said, make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell to get notified every time I post a video, and leave a comment in the comment section down below of how you feel about the Timberwolves in this next round of the playoffs, because it's going to be good regardless of who they play, and I'm really excited to watch some good basketball. And just like that, we will talk to you in the next one. Peace.